Wrap around my finger like a ring.
I never want to stop pursuing love.
I am who I am, and I want to meet someone who knows who they are.
She's come a long way from exiting that limo with a vibrator in her hand. That was the first promo for Katie Thurston's season of The Bachelorette, unveiled by ABC ahead of its June 7th premiere. And in it, she, of course, looks so stunning in this lavender gown. But Katie says it's all about staying true to who she is, sharing that throughout the entire promo. She even sports a shirt at one point that says, "Be a Katie." You guys will remember Katie is one of the next 2 bachelorettes that was announced during The Bachelor's After the Final Rose special. The other leading lady being Michelle Young, whose season will air this fall.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud of Katie. I feel like Katie was our friend who got what we know she deserved. And of course, Michelle
Yes.
too. Yes.
Right.
Well,
We love to see it.
meanwhile, yeah, we do. We do. Well, meanwhile, we are also getting 2 new hosts, former Bachelorettes Tayshia Adams and Caitlin Bristow, who are ready to bring something new to this next season of The Bachelorette. During the latest episode of Going to Bed with Garcelle podcast, Tayshia discussed hosting Katie's season alongside Caitlin.
If you would have told me I would be right here today, I would have never thought that
Why?
this would be my position. Well, just because, The Bachelor is pretty traditional in the sense of they have like their rhyme or reason. And
Yeah.
everything just kind of fell into place to where the world needs something fresh and new. And I think that we are going to provide that this season. And I think that people are looking for change in the franchise. And I really think that this is something that they're going to be really excited about.
Well, Denny,
Ooh,
after
I'm
hearing,
definitely excited.
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I'm definitely excited. As someone who's a huge fan of this franchise and has been for a minute, she's right. Like, I'm ready for some change, especially after all the nonsense we had last season, and all that fallout and the controversy. I don't even have to get into the details of what went down, but I'm ready for them to switch it up a little bit. Like, Tayshia is right. It's so traditional. They have their model. The pandemic really threw them for a loop. And then, their own host threw them for a loop too. So the fact that Chris Harrison, stepped away from the franchise and they decided to bring in Tayshia and Caitlin, who I think are great choices to kind of steer this ship, and makes me very excited to see what they're going to do.
I agree. There's a lot of, I'd say, girl power because these are like strong women, right? These are women here. But Katie is going to need that support. And I feel like to have Tayshia and Caitlin right there is just perfect. I feel like it's the perfect combination. Hopefully, we can put the past controversy behind us after this new season. Hopefully, that's
Do you
the
think they
case.
can? That's the question. I wonder if they can, or how they'll, I don't know, address it or have some important conversations. Because I feel like the franchise still needs to do some work, but I wouldn't necessarily maybe put that pressure on the host or even Katie. So I guess it's just, that's probably why they actually cast Katie, because if you remember on Matt James' season of The Bachelor, she was someone who just knew what she wanted. She wasn't afraid to call out the girls if she felt like they were being unfair or mean, you know what I mean? And she really came from a place, I felt, of genuineness. So I feel like she'll kind of carry that with her when she's filtering through all these guys.
Right. You can tell she's a woman of morals, right?
Yes,
so I think she has a good intuition too to know when something is just wrong and when it's not, or when it's right. I'm excited to see the men she's gonna bring in. I feel like there's gonna be a different vibe here when it comes to that as well. So we just have to wait and see. Actions speak louder than words when it comes to things like this. So we'll see how the producers pan everything out.
It's funny that you should say that, because we should talk about Rachael Kirkconnell. Of course, her past racist actions came up last season. She and Matt ultimately went their separate ways, but she and Matt James are possibly reconnecting with each other following their big breakup, because the two were spotted hanging out together over the weekend in LA. They were spotted out with friends twice. Once on Friday in Newport Beach, California, and then again on Saturday in Santa Monica. And this California sighting is the second time that the two have been reunited since the Bachelor finale. And according to multiple reports, Rachael visited Matt earlier this month in New York City, where he now lives. So again, these sightings are happening more frequently and have forced many Bachelor Nation to wonder what is going on between the former couple, especially after, of course, the fallout from Rachael's racism controversy. Do you think it's too soon, Mel? And do you see them getting back together?
Yeah, I see them getting back together. I do.
You do?
I do. I feel like you can't stop love. It makes it even harder when you feel like that person is off limits. And if you
Hmm.
watched Matt's season, their chemistry, it was undeniable to me at least. I feel like,
Right.
yes, Rachel made a terrible mistake. Terrible mistake. But we all have made mistakes. She's owned up to it. She said that she's doing the work. Hopefully, she's still consistently doing the work because it's not a one off and done. But if she is actually doing those things, I think we should give her grace and allow her to become a better person. You know, we
Right.
want people with racist views, even if they don't know they have them. We want people like that to change. So let's
Mm.
actually believe that that change is possible. And at the end of the day, I feel like our opinions don't matter. Matt is the one
Right.
who decides if he wants to allow her back in his life or not, when he wants to
Yes.
do it, because he's going to be in a relationship with her and raise a
And
family with her, not us.
there's got to be some unfinished business there. You can't help
For
it.
sure.
This is who we fell in love with. You're right. We saw the passion, but there's a difference between making excuses for your partner's behavior versus holding them accountable. And I feel like Matt was holding her accountable, wanted to give her the space to grow and learn on her own without him. But also, you also want to give them the benefit of the doubt and see if they've actually changed. And maybe she has, and maybe he's ready to like start over again. So,
Yeah.
crazier things have happened.